honorflight.org or call 620-546-2400.
In recent months, some people looking for Midwest Energy on Google have reported sponsored ads pop up with different phone numbers connecting them to scammers. When online, always look closely at links and phone numbers before clicking or calling. Midwest Energy's only phone number is 1-800-222-3121. Any other number, and it's likely a scam. Midwest Energy, a customer-owned cooperative, making energy work for you.
Even though your attention has turned back to school with events and activities, you just can't forget everything going on at home. That's where your local Hoover Lumber Ace hardware stores in Goodland and Colby come in. Keep the lawn in check with mowers, blowers, and trimmers from Craftsman, Toro, and Ego. They are still your local Benjamin Moore paint retailer, and they still have that amazing selection of outdoor grills and griddles from Traeger, Weber, and Blackstone. Plus, their helpful and knowledgeable staffs are some of the best in the Northwest. It's all at Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby. Open every day but Sunday.
Are you in search of a new pickup? Well, why not trust the team at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas, as they currently have great deals on all kinds of trucks. Get yourself into a 2024 GMC Sierra 1500 pickup with 5.9% APR plus $3,250 purchase allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Or get a 2024 GMC Sierra 2500 pickup with 5.9% for 84 months. As always, go to hurlchev.com to schedule any service or check out what's on the lot, or just stop on by in South Goodland.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
Your livelihood is important to you. You work hard to succeed in your farming operation, crop, livestock, home, vehicles, and special needs. We have you covered. Discounts are available for new business, remodeling, hail-resistive roofing, multi-policy, and many more. Optional coverage endorsements as well for machinery ingestion and equipment breakdown. Umbrella coverage for additional coverage on your home, farm, and auto. See the girls at the insurance agency at 1020 Main in Goodland or call 785-899-5011.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams September holiday sale and get 30% off paints and stains from August 30th through September 9th. With prices starting at $34.29, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your bedroom, living room, or home office, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, we have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-205-5350. So if you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, call now. Find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-205-5350 to speak with a live person now.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
You ready? One, two, three, four!
It's the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
The amount of money getting thrown around to quarterbacks who haven't done diddly squat is amazing to me.
The region's only local sports talk.
Listen to this guy. He knows what he's talking about.
Broadcasting on Goodland's Rocket 102.5, simulcasting on Goodland's 730 Gold KLOE.
Guys everywhere.
Discussing it all from the preps.
It's been a long, long time. But the Goodland Cowboys are going to play for a state title.
To the pros.
How about a walk-off grand slam? Touch of all time, Ryan McMahon.
The Blitz is presented by Pearl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank, as well as the Insurance Agency, Farmer State Bank in Oakley, the Cowboy Corner Express, and Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell.
Let's go to work. 23-yard line, 2nd down and 2. Avery with a play fake and now throws wide open. This is a touchdown for Kansas State, the first of the year, and it goes to a tight end, Braden Lofton.
Pitch to Blackman is hit towards left center field. Cedric Mullins on the run. He won't get there. It'll score a pair. Blackman thinking 3. Throw to third is offline. Snap back to Raiola.
Steps, throws toward the end zone for Banks, goes up, makes the catch, and it is a touchdown, Nebraska. Jamal Banks out-leaped a couple of defenders and pulls it in there for 6 points.
Oh, ripped to left. It's high enough, it's deep enough, and it's gone. Bobby Witt Jr., 30th home run of the season, is a missile to the Crawford boxes.
And good Tuesday morning, everybody. We are back here on the Morning Blitz in a new month. It is September the 3rd. I hope everyone had a great Labor Day weekend. Enjoyed some time, hopefully, to get squeeze that last bit of summer out of what is left here in 2024. Had a nice weekend myself. Didn't finish great yesterday, as I was trying to do some laundry and some stuff and drop something on my toe and smash my toe. And so I've got a big bruised, or not my big toe, my index finger toe, if that's what you want to call it, with the big bruised toe. But other than that, a great weekend. Hope everyone had a great weekend as well. Enjoyed getting out in some sun and enjoying the nice weather this past weekend and doing some things with family and friends. So really good weekend overall. And like I said, hope you did as well. Going to be a sunny day today. High right now currently the high expected to be 89, currently sitting at 58 degrees. We get going here on this Tuesday, September the 3rd. We're on the Morning Blitz. We'll be joined by Golden Plains head football coach Travis Smith. He will join us to talk about the upcoming season for the Bulldogs, who have some nice pieces coming back off of a couple win team last year, looking to improve upon that. So look forward to visiting with Travis Smith about that coming up here at the bottom of the hour, about 20 to 25 minutes from now. We will get into what happened with Kansas State and Nebraska, both teams picking up wins on Saturday in convincing fashion. Both kind of struggling a little bit early, but pulling away late and looking very good in doing so. So thoughts on those games as well. And also plenty of other things that went on, including Colby Community College volleyball with another great weekend as well. Here this past weekend up in Wyoming is where they were playing. So plenty of stuff. And of course, we'll look back at what I did and how I did on picks. About average is what I would say. About average for my picks usually on the weekend. We'll get to that in the walk-off. As always, the F&B Bank text line is open at 785-899-2222. If you'd like to chime in throughout the show, get your thoughts and comments in. Would love to hear from you throughout the next, 50 minutes here of this program on a Tuesday morning. It was a very, very busy weekend in local sports, and it's going to get even busier with really getting into the full swing with high school football on Friday, starting things up, and busy week of volleyball. Many teams have already started their seasons. Goodland's going to get their season started this evening against St. Francis. So we are in the full swing of sports season. And, I was thinking about this last night, too, just kind of a random thought. But you think about it, Thursday night, the Kansas City Chiefs kick off the football season in the NFL against the Ravens, which will be a great game. Look forward to watching that. But on top of that, think about it. The NFL is going to play a football game before a team in Kansas, at least out here, plays a football game. That never happens. Like I said, the schedule is so different this year and so unique, but that's what's going to happen this year. We'll have, in some cases, some teams in college football having played 2 games, one having played 1, and of course, and most of them having played 1 game. And then you got the NFL already playing a game as well before the high school football season starts, which is so random, especially the way it's been here out in Kansas. But anyway, like I said, we got a full show ahead and lots to get to here on what is this Tuesday morning. I have to get used to that. And let's get things rolling with weekend winners and losers.
There are 2 kinds of people in this world.
There's winners and there's losers.
Which ones were which this past weekend?
I want winners.
Loser! You're a loser!
It's the weekend's winners and losers on the Morning Blitz.
You want to be a winner, be a winner.
As always, if you've got some weekend winners or losers, chime in on the F&B Bank text line, number 785-899-2222. Started off kind of talking the show about a little bit there was, the return of local sports and in complete full swing. Friday and into Saturday this past weekend was loaded full of high school volleyball as area teams got their seasons underway. Hoxie picked up a pair of wins. This was back on Friday at the Wheatland-Grinnell Triangular. Oakley would win both of their home matches against Wallace County and Scott City. The Wildcats dropped both of those matches, one to the Beavers, one to the Lady Plainsmen. Also Friday, St. Francis going a perfect 2-0 Friday at Northern Valley's Triangular. Shiloh was there. They went 1-1. So Saney coming into today's match against Goodland with a 2-0 record. Colby High School participated again in the Maroon and Gold tournament over in Hayes. They would go 3-2. I know I said on the sports report 2-2. I misspoke. 3-2 this year with this year at the Maroon and Gold tournament. They were able to, let's see, how did that all happen? They were able to, in pool play, I think go 2-2 is what they were able to do. They picked up, let's see, I want to make sure I get this right here, where I wrote this down in my notes. So they went, what was, I think actually 1-3 in pool play, or sorry, they went 1-2 in pool play. They beat Salina South, but in straight sets, including a tight one in set 2, but then lost to Olathe West and Beloit. Beloit once again looking like a power that it is in high school volleyball. Colby then swept Scott City in their second match of the day to pick up to get 2-2, and then I think they picked up another win as well over Salina South, I believe. Again, I think they beat them twice, if I'm not mistaken. Sometimes these results are hard to find. Yeah, Colby knocked off Salina South in the 5th place match. So I believe they go, what is, I think 3-2 this past weekend over there at the Maroon and Gold. A great opening weekend for Colby volleyball. And once again, I think high expectations this year for all Colby Lady Eagle athletics with the seniors that they have this year playing in their final season together, the Bren Stanleys, the Logan Nolans, the Elizabeth Bartons. That group of athletes has played a ton of varsity ball, whether it's volleyball, basketball, whether it's track and field, golf. They have done it all at a very young age for a long time. And so you're going to think that, this is the year to try to reap those benefits of all that experience, and it's time to win a lot. And a good start playing at a very difficult tournament over in Hayes there for Colby High School with a good showing at the Maroon and Gold tournament. Also Saturday, Golden Plains went a perfect 5-0, taking the top spot at the Healy tournament. So they had a very, very good weekend right there for sure. I mentioned matches today. A big handful of matches today going on in high school volleyball. Mentioned, of course, Goodland opening their season, hosting St. Francis. Colby is on the road in Lakin for a quad with Holcomb and Ulysses. Hoxie goes to Hill City for a triangular with La Crosse. Golden Plains is at the Tri-Plains Brewster quad with Nest City and Logan Palco. Quinter, Rollins County, and Decatur Community all going to Dighton for a quadrangular. Wheatland Grinnell will have another triangular at home, hosting Shiloh and Northern Valley. Weskin takes on Wallace County, and Oakley has a triangular with Trigo. I believe today for that. But nonetheless, it's a very busy day of volleyball. And I mentioned Goodland again because just late last night, this morning, we posted our preseason fall preview interviews with head coach Angie Brumbaugh, as well as a host of players, including Libby Cure, Hope Bierman, Allie Days, and I'm losing my mind on the other one here, Lauren Linton. There we go. So if you'd like to hear those, if you're a Goodland Cowgirl fan of volleyball, you can listen to those interviews. If you go to NWKS Sports on Twitter, or follow me on Twitter at Ross Volkmer, you can find that. Also, as well, like I said, it's on Facebook. Follow us on NWKS Radio on Facebook. You can find those posted as well through SoundCloud. So those are now up and posted if you'd like to hear what the Cowgirls had to say ahead of the upcoming 2024 season. And of course, head coach Angie Brumbaugh too. So very, very busy day in local volleyball. And so like I said, high school sports are back. It's the first real winner of the weekend. Great to see them back in full swing. And it really is getting hot and heavy here right away. Moving on weekend winners here on this Tuesday morning. Shout out to Scotty Scheffler. My goodness, what a year Scotty Scheffler's had. Think about this year for Scotty Scheffler. Wins a green jacket in Augusta to really get things going. Gets himself an Olympic medal in there. He becomes a first-time dad. He's arrested for the first time, and probably the only time one would think, but arrested for the first time in his life there at the Open Championship. It's been quite a year for Scotty Scheffler. And now you can add on top of that, he is the FedEx Cup champ to cap off what is pretty much the best golf season since Tiger Woods in 2 decades? That'd be my guess. That's the only golfer and the domination that I can think of would be Tiger Woods and what he did for those years 2 decades ago, just dominating the world of golf, Scotty Scheffler is in that spot right now. He is on top of the golfing world. Like I said, he won $25 million just for winning the FedEx Cup trophy. So it's the biggest payout in golf, the richest in golf, $25 million prize to win the FedEx Cup. He gets that, and that's put his season earnings right now, including bonuses, to $62.3 million. That is a heck of a season. That's why Scotty Scheffler's a winner. $62.3 million playing golf alone and winning. That does not include endorsements and all that other stuff that he's getting as well. $62.3 million he made just playing golf in 1 year. 1 year. That is unbelievable. And on top of that, you get that ever-coveted green jacket, an Olympic gold medal. And it's just imagine him in a picture. He's got the green jacket on with the medal, and he's just, he looks like Scrooge McDuck standing in a vault full of cash. That's what it's like to be Scotty Scheffler. And, of course, he's got his wife, Meredith, and their son there, sitting there as well. But, it's what a year for Scotty Scheffler. He is no doubt a winner of the weekend. And that arrest snafu deal that happened there in Kentucky, it's a blimp on the radar. $62 million will help kind of just make that go away seem very easy to go away. But I couldn't believe, I'm not surprised that he won the FedEx Cup. I'm not surprised all the winning he did. He's a great golfer. But to see the amount of money that a man just made this year only playing golf, 62 point some odd million, that doesn't count the endorsement. He had to make over $100 million this year. Life-changing generational wealth in the Scheffler household, that's for sure. So Scotty Scheffler, a winner of the weekend. And my final winner of the weekend here on this Tuesday, Big Ten football, a winner of this past long extended weekend. The Big Ten went a very impressive 17-1 on opening weekend. The lone loss was Minnesota on Thursday night, falling to North Carolina on a last-second missed field goal. Other than that, every Big Ten team picked up a convincing win. Well, I shouldn't say convincing, but picked up a win is how I'm going to put it. It's a good weekend. It's a good start to the weekend. In comparison to the, and then the SEC is going to say, we're the best conference. And that may be true, but they didn't have that kind of opening weekend. And the SEC certainly had some dominant performances against some powder puff teams. There's no doubt. I think they became like the first conference to have like 5 or 6 teams score 60 or more points in the same weekend. They were putting up points like nobody's business. But shout out to the Big Ten, who I always kind of feel like is, to an extent, a little bit like they are one of the big dogs in the power conferences, but they always are kind of they're always kind of following the SEC. But to go 17-1 on opening weekend, including a nice win for USC over LSU. That was on, Monday night? No, Sunday night. Excuse me. That was on Sunday night. That was a nice weekend. That was a great weekend for Big Ten football. Really, really impressive. Moving on here on weekend winners and losers on this Tuesday. Once again, you want to chime in with the FNB Bank text line, the number 785-899-2222 if you want to be part of the Morning Blitz. Weekend losers, I'd say I'm going to go with blue blood programs in college football, and 2 particular ones in Florida State and LSU. I don't know if anybody got a chance to watch Florida State fall to Boston College in what was a Boston College Eagle domination performance, 28-13. FSU with that loss begins the season 0-2. And not just 0-2, but 0-2 in the ACC. That is a conference that you are currently suing to try to get out of because you believe that you are better than its opponent, than what the conference is, and you should be making more money. But you've got fellow conference foes who are below you in Georgia Tech and Boston College coming into this season, below you, I should say. And, Georgia Tech beat you at the gun on a field goal. Okay, but then you just got physically whooped by Boston College last night in that game. In They're in Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee, Florida. That was a Florida State home game. There were people leaving in the fourth quarter because Boston College completely whooped them. And there's a lot of things wrong with Florida State football after watching that game. One game you're like, it could kind of be a fluke. I don't know. DJU does not look good. DJ Uiagalelei, the transfer quarterback, he does not look good. Missed a wide open touchdown pass last night. Had an interception as well. Almost had another one because it went off of some wide receivers' hands. It's not all his issue. It's not all his problem, I should say. But DJU does not look good. And honestly, if you're Mike Norvell, the head coach for Florida State, it's time to start sitting there and think, you know what? We might need to start thinking about the future of this program, and we need to start playing some younger guys. We need to get them in there, and particularly at the quarterback spot. We got to get a younger quarterback in there. We got to get him some reps and some game reps, and we'll see where it goes. It's not saying it's that time yet, but it's close. They had the graphic on the telecast last night. They had a 36% chance of making the college football playoff when the season began, being a top 10 ranked team in Florida State. And then after that, lost to Georgia Tech, dropped down to 10%. And they said if they lost again this time, it'd be a 1% chance. And right now they're sitting at a 1% chance to make the college football playoff. It's still plausible. I mean, back in 89, Bobby Bowden lost his first 2 games and then rattled off 10 in a row. And I think that probably put you in the college football playoff at 10-2. We'll see, with some help from their other league mates. But it's not good. It's not good at all. So DJU is a big issue. The defense cannot stop the run whatsoever. Last night, they had 270 plus yards rushing. Did Boston College? They took a couple knees, knocked them down to 260 something. But the Boston College ran all over them. Georgia Tech ran all over them. They cannot stop the run, and the offense can't run the ball. 21 yards rushing last night in that loss to Boston College. They got to be able to run the ball. They're putting way too much pressure on DJ Uiagalelei. He can't handle that. He can't. It's not his thing. He needs to be just a distributor and not a massive playmaker at this point in time. But this also brings me to a point. Well, another one of my points that I've made many times on this show. This is why I just don't know if preseason rankings are really that necessary. Because everyone thought Florida State was a top 10 team coming into this season based off of what they did last season mostly. Guess what? They're not a top 10 team. They don't even look like a top 50 team at this point in time. Boston College, on the other hand, looked like a top 10 team, or looked like a top 25 team. That was an impressive showing. Wow. They looked really good. Shout out to Bill O'Brien. That's right. The former Patriots head football coach, was a longtime assistant underneath Bill Belichick. They have themselves a football team, folks. That is an impressive showing of a football team. They ran the ball so well last night, did Boston College. I don't know. That was only game number 1. Maybe they're going to have some issues down the road. More than likely they will. But that was an impressive showing from Boston College and first-year head coach Bill O'Brien. That was highly impressive. Wow. So Florida State, no doubt, a humongous loser of the weekend. And Boston College, they looked really good. I'll give them credit. LSU is another kind of loser of the weekend. Lost their 5th straight season opener. 5 straight season openers. Brian Kelly has not started off a year in his career at LSU with a victory. I think he's 0-3 now. But 5 straight season opening losses. I guarantee you LSU is not looking at getting into another one of these big-time matchups to kick off the season. I guarantee their schedule is like, you know what? We're just going to go play Roast Beef State to kick off the season and call it good. Guarantee going forward, they're done with these high-profile games because they haven't been able to win, and that puts pressure on Brian Kelly, which results in, coaches sometimes getting fired. So LSU, a loser of the weekend as well. And then my final loser of the weekend from this past extended holiday weekend, how about the Kansas City Royals? Remember we were sitting here, a week to 10 days ago? We were sitting here and visiting about how the Royals had been playing just amazing baseball. They took 3 of 4 from the Cleveland Guardians, almost got the sweep, which would have put them in the lead for the AL Central. Well, that seems like a very distant memory. After the Royals tied the Guardians for the lead, they lost the game to Cleveland. Okay, so they're a game back. That was the first loss of what is now 6 consecutive losses after tying for the AL Central lead. The offense has gone completely ice cold. They have not scored more than 5 runs in any of those 6 losses. In 3 of those losses, they've had 4 or less hits, including yesterday where they just had 2 hits. They've had 2 games in this 6-game losing streak where they've had just 2 hits offensively. So the offense has gone from being pretty darn hot to just ice cold in a matter of a week, roughly, if less. And they cannot put up any, they cannot find the win column. And they have dropped down back to, I think, 4.5 games back in the AL Central. I think they're even behind the Twins now with this 6-game losing skid. And they're still in a good spot to make the postseason as that final playoff team in the American League wild card. Still sitting fine there. But man, this is talk about a bad time to kind of go cold a little bit. But I guess if you've done your work ahead of time and you have a little bit of a lull here, as long as you find a way to pick it back up by the playoffs, that'll be worth it. But man, it's not look good. Injuries have kind of hurt them. Big news, of course, this past weekend was Vinny Pasquantino injuring, I think, his thumb. He's out 6 weeks. That seems to have had a major impact in that clubhouse. Hunter Renfroe's been out for a while. They're missing some other pieces. And the offense is just not there. And the pitching has been okay. I think the pitching has been fine, but the offense has got to find a way to pick up the slack a little bit, and it has not done that. So, once again, I give the Royals a big loser of the weekend. Losers of 6 in a row after tying for the American League Central lead where they were gunning for, and now it's been a really tough showing the last week or so. By the way, tough outing for the Rockies this past weekend as well. They dropped 2 of 3 to the Orioles, but they did get Labor Day off, which I thought was unique. They got Labor Day off, did the Rockies, and they will open up a series here. Let's see here. That is today, but when is that? Let's see. Oh, they have it. They're in Atlanta to take on the Braves. That's where they're at today. By the way, the Royals, they've got a game against the Guardians. They're playing the Guardians yesterday. Lost. What was the final score? Of 6-2. That series will continue with game 2 tonight at 6:40 Central Time, which you can hear on AM 790 KXXX. And one more quick loser. This one just makes me chuckle. I feel bad at the same time. But the White Sox pitcher Chris Flexen lost his 20th straight start with the White Sox yesterday. 20 straight loss. He's gone and started a ball game now 20 straight times and has ended up with the L for Chris Flexen. That is a drought that I don't know if it'll ever be matched again. The White Sox are atrocious. We know that they're terrible. And Chris Flexen is one of those guys that's got a really bad record in the history books of statistics. He lost his 20th consecutive start with the White Sox yesterday. There you go. Losers of the weekend. FNB Bank text line coming up here. A big winner of the weekend, according to Krista, would be Minnesota volleyball beating number 1 Texas this weekend. That is a great win for Minnesota. You're exactly right, Chris. So that's a phenomenal win. Texas played Wisconsin. I think that was on Sunday morning. And Wisconsin dropped. Wisconsin's lost a couple of matches already this season. That's a top 5 program. They've already lost a couple matches. Texas looked dominant against Wisconsin in that matchup. But yeah, that was a big time win for Minnesota. Humongous win in the volleyball world over Texas. So great one there from Krista on the FNB Bank text line 785-899-2222. Okay, let's get to a break. When we come back, we will visit with the head coach of the Golden Plains Bulldogs. That's Travis Smith. He'll join us. You're listening to the Morning Blitz. It's 8:32 Central, 7:32 Mountain Time.
Progressive presents good news, bad news, dumb news, then great news. Good news. A letter in your mailbox says you could save money bundling your home and auto insurance with Progressive. Bad news. You saw it after your teenager backed the car into the mailbox. Dumb news. A new mailbox, basically a box on a stick, costs up to $400. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and go with paperless mail instead. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams September holiday sale and get 30% off paints and stains from August 30th through September 9th. With prices starting at $34.29, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your bedroom, living room, or home office, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning. This is Kate Thompson with the Anderson Trade Group. Today is Tuesday, September 3rd. And on the overnight, last night, December corn higher a half cent at 401.5. March up a half at 419.5. May up a half at 428 3/4, and July corn up 3/4 cents at 435. November soybeans up 7 on the overnight at 10.07. January up 7 1/4 at 10.24 1/4. March up 7 3/4 at 10.39.5. And May soybeans up 7 cents at 10.52 1/4. Chicago wheat this December contract down 2 cents at 5.49.5. March down 3 cents at 5.69 1/4. May down 3 at 5.80 3/4. And July soft wheat down 3 3/4 at 5.86. Kansas City wheat this December contract down 4 1/4 at 5.61. March down 4 1/2 at 5.73 1/4. May down 3 3/4 at 5.80 1/4. And July hard wheat down 5 3/4 at 5.82. On the stock market this morning, the Dow down 209 at 41,445. The S&P down 28, 5,633. The Nasdaq down 117 at 19,505. Gold down 80 cents an ounce at 2,526, and crude oil down $1.65 a barrel at 71.90. If you have any questions about marketing grain or would like to talk about risk management options, give our Colorado office a call, John Hankey or John Stiles at 970-744-4484, or in our Kansas City office, myself, Tom Fluido, Jared Law, or Tyler Ghosh at 913-748-3000.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor and or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
If you spray your wheat this fall, it will pay off in spring.
Who said that?
If you spray your wheat for grass weed control early, it will.
Nah, I'll wait.
Forget it. Look, you only have one shot to get it right. And you only need one herbicide, okay?
Okay. Which herbicide?
Zidua SC herbicide. It's a superior residual herbicide with long-lasting control of the toughest grasses, including Italian rye and cheatgrass.
Zidua SC herbicide?
That's right. Ask your retailer about it today. And always read and follow label directions.
When challenging conditions arise, we don't back down. We up our game. Outpacing the competition with innovations fueled by Bayer's R&D, keeping you equipped with an expanded portfolio, elite genetics, and additional local test plots. Channel leads the field, so you can rise above. See how you can save at channel.com/finance24. Read and follow pesticide label directions, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices.
Interstate 70 will be closed in parts of Gove and Trego counties in Kansas on September 4th for a scheduled bridge repair. The detour route will use K-23 from Grainfield to Hoxie, US 24 Hoxie to Hill City, and US 283 Hill City to Waukene for both east and westbound traffic that day. This means there will be a lot of traffic through our small communities on Wednesday, September 4th. Please plan accordingly and be safe. From your friends at NWKS Radio.
Hey, it's Brian Haney, the voice of the Jayhawks, and you're listening to my main man, Ross Volkmer. He may be a Husker, but he also knows how to rock chalk. And you're listening to the Morning Blitz right here on 102.5 You Rock.
.837 Central, 737 Mountain, as we're kicking things off on a Tuesday, September the 3rd. Once again, hope everyone had a great Labor Day weekend and sucked in those last few moments of summer, as we are diving full strength back into the high school sports season, with volleyball getting rolling this past weekend in full swing and continuing today. And high school football, of course, pro football kicks off on Thursday with the Chiefs, so busy times ahead as we have reached the fall sports season. Let's continue our area high school football previews as we continue to ramp up towards the high school football season kicking off here this weekend. And we're pleased to be joined on the Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware hotline by our guest of the day. That would be Travis Smith. He's the head coach of the Golden Plains Bulldogs. Good morning, Travis. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Coach, how was, once again, how I always like to start off asking, when you look back at last season, a couple of wins for your team, and it was a pretty young squad, but when you look back at last season, what did you take away from it?
We suffered a pretty significant injury after our jamboree. One of our seniors, Landon Meyer, tore his ACL and his meniscus in our jamboree, so we were pretty banged up going into the season, and that, in a small school with a small number of kids, one injury like that really can turn your season, and it did. We lost a lot of speed with Landon getting hurt, but we gained a lot of experience with our younger kids, and that's going to prove to be really significant this year for us moving forward as we return, 5 of 6 starters on each side of the ball.
I know in the moment that has to be a challenge to accept, we're going to have to play a bunch of young guys, and it's going to be a mental and physical adjustment for those young players. But as the season progressed on last year, did you feel like as if they really kind of came into their own?
We were a totally different team by the end of the year. Our kids, they were really competing. We had kids like Josh Rath, who's a senior this year. Kids like that who really stepped up, and I was really proud of the way they took that setback and they saw it as a challenge, and they really accepted it and really played hard towards the end of the year.
Did you guys happen to get together during the summer and go to some camps or work together at times? How do you guys operate during the summer months?
We, of course, we lift every morning, and then we meet every Monday evening from 7 to 9 and have our practices, and then we host our own camp here at the end of the summer in July, and make sure we got everything installed offensively and defensively and special teams wise, and the kids really click, and that's how we step into the season.
How was the weight room turnout, and did you see a lot of gains this summer?
We did. Our seniors really led us in the weight room, and we saw some significant growth. And I've really seen the increase in speed on the football field here these first couple of weeks, and we're really excited to get things going this Friday against Moscow.
We are visiting with the head coach of the Golden Plains Bulldogs. That would be Travis Smith, as they get set to kick off the season, like you said, here this upcoming Friday. How about fall camp, or I don't want to call you a preseason camp, we'll call it that. How has that looked over these last couple of weeks?
With so many returners back on the both sides of the ball, it's been great. Our kids have really stepped up and matured this year. We've had some really great practices, some really physical practices. I've seen a big step forward from the fact that these guys want to compete day in and day out, and man, I'm really excited to get things going this Friday.
Who have been some of the guys that you're looking to have big seasons coming up here?
Well, Josh Rath and Diego Perez are both returning in the backfield. They both were listed in Acacia Covered's top 25 six-man players for this upcoming season. I'm really excited about their growth. Dylan Wark is another returner. He's a 2-time state placer in the 800. We really enjoy his speed on the field, and we have others like Wyatt Amlong, Miguel Garcia, both kids that have started last couple of seasons. I think all of those kids could really step up and make an impact for us this season.
It really does have to be a blessing to know that you have these kids coming back and knowing that they've gotten this experience. But how much better can they get in this upcoming season, you think?
A lot better. I expect a big season out of our kids. That experience, stepping in, we don't have to do as much install. They know what's going on. They're ready to go. So we can hit the ground running day one and get things going. We're ready to go for Friday right now. I feel like the kids have really competed, and they're just hard workers and ready to play.
Have you had a chance to, toy with some things, install some new things since you have all this experience, and they kind of, like you said, they know kind of the basics and all that already?
I got the chance to coach in the 6-man Colorado versus Kansas All-Star game this summer with Chris Walden from Cheyenne and Marvin Gebhardt from Northern Valley, and I was able to steal a few things from them. So we'll keep it a secret a little bit, but we got some new things put in.
How was that experience coaching against Colorado in that All-Star game?
It was awesome. It was awesome to see that much talent and to get a chance to assist Coach Walton and Coach Gebhardt and get to coach those Northern Valley kids and Cheyenne kids, the kids that kind of kick you around a little bit during the season, and you get to know them on a different level and see, you know, how great of kids they really are. But it was a great experience. Those Colorado kids can compete, and it was just fun.
We are visiting with Travis Smith. He's the head football coach at Golden Plains. The Bulldogs getting set to kick off their season against Moscow here this coming Friday. What about the schedule? What are your thoughts on this schedule coming up here in 2024 overall as a whole?
You know, our schedule is always pretty tough. Our district is always loaded. We play Moscow this Friday. They have a couple new coaches. They were on the staff back in 17, 18, so I've been looking at film that when we played them back then, and then we turn around and play number 3 ranked Ingles here in Rexford, which they're tough. Coach Dillingham does a great job with them. Play Wheatland week 3, and then we get into our district with Weskin, who's going to be great. Coach Cloud does an awesome job with them, and then Northern Valley and Cheyenne. Our schedule is just loaded every week.
But that's kind of expected, you know, especially in these parts. You know, six-man football is very, very good out here in the western and northwestern part of the state.
Yeah, you know, this is kind of where it started, and, you know, we have a little bit more experience out here playing it and coaching it, and, you know, it takes a little bit to get adjusted to six-man. You know, it's a totally different game. Everybody's eligible. So it takes a little time for those new teams to get in, but, you know, out here, I think there's, you know, some really good coaches and great kids who've really, and communities have really bought into the six-man game out here, and hopefully it spreads statewide eventually.
How cool has it been to see the six-man game grow in just the short time that it really has been going on here in Kansas?
You know, it is great. It took a little bit to get some traction. You know, the East didn't buy into it as quickly as we did out here. But, you know, when, you know, Friday Night Lights is important to all the communities, especially the small communities and the smaller schools. And when you can keep football in your community and your schools, it livens up the school year. And, you know, it's an exciting thing to do every Friday night. And six-man's a great game. It's fast-paced. And, you know, when you have scores that are 75-70, and then you go watch the 11-man game that's 10-6, you know, you can see why the six-man game can be so appealing.
Travis Smith of Golden Plains joining us here talking Bulldog football. Numbers-wise, have numbers been good here for your team to get enough guys to practice and things of that sort and at least get a good look to scrimmage-wise at times?
You know, last year we had 11 kids, so it's really hard to, you know, scrimmage or going half lines and things like that. This year we have 18. I get a good number of kids out, you know, 6 seniors. So those guys have really led the way, and it's great to be able to practice and be able to scrimmage and get a good look every day in practice. It gets you ready for Friday nights.
Yeah, I mean, how much of a difference is it when you actually can scrimmage, you know, full 6-on-6 in comparison where sometimes you have to do like, you know, half line, you know, and stuff of that sort? How much of a difference is that?
It's so hard to simulate what other teams do when you're having to put 2 coaches on the other side of the ball or a manager. You can't get good looks when you can come into practices with 18 kids out there, and you can rotate kids in and out and get more experience, and you're able to scrimmage and give the looks the other teams are going to give you on Friday nights. It really prepares you much better for what you're going to see on Fridays.
And I get the sense that, you know, those numbers could stay around those parts here in the next couple of years.
I think so. We have a large group of boys out as freshmen. We have a good group as 8th graders. So I'm really excited about the numbers we have coming forward.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Once again, he is the Golden Plains head football coach, Travis Smith. They'll kick off the season against Moscow here on Friday. What are your thoughts on these the late start to the season, Coach? I was telling people beforehand we got on the air, you think about it, you're going to have college football teams, NFL teams even starting some games before some of the high school even starts.
I actually kind of like it. It gives us more time to prepare. You know, sometimes you feel rushed getting into the season, like you can't get your head above water. But this year, you know, we've been able to ease into things a little bit better, and I think the kids are more prepared.
Yeah, I would agree. That's actually kind of nice. I would totally agree. Coach, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate your insight. Good luck this Friday against Moscow.
Thank you. Appreciate the time.
Once again, that is Travis Smith. He is the head football coach of the Golden Plains Bulldogs. Like I said, they kick off the season coming up here on Friday against Moscow. And Yeah, they'll have a difficult schedule. They'll have Weskin, they got Northern Valley, Cheylin, and there's some really, really good teams that they'll be facing off here in the six-man ranks as this season gets rolling. So thanks again to Travis Smith for joining us here on the Morning Blitz. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap the show with the leftovers next. You're listening to the Blitz here on a Tuesday morning. Even though your attention has turned back to school with events and activities, you just can't forget everything going on at home. That's where your local Hoover Lumber Ace hardware stores in Goodland and Colby come in. Keep the lawn in check with mowers, blowers, and trimmers from Craftsman, Toro, and Ego. They are still your local Benjamin Moore paint retailer, and they still have that amazing selection of outdoor grills and griddles from Traeger, Weber, and Blackstone. Plus, their helpful and knowledgeable staffs are some of the best in the Northwest. It's all at Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby. Open every day but Sunday.
The Chevy Summer Drive event is going on right now at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Right now, you can get a Chevy Silverado 1500 pickup with up to $5,750 of total rebates when you trade in an eligible vehicle, or get 1.9% financing on select 2023 and 24 model Chevrolets, plus no payments for 90 days. As always, go to hurlchev.com to schedule any service or check out what's on the lot, or just stop on by in South Goodland.
At Next Tech Wireless, you are in the driver's seat. With all the latest devices, the choice is yours. You pick between 18, 24, or 36-month terms and get your device on us. Next Tech Wireless, home on the range.
Hi, this is Stephanie Dole with F&B Bank. At F&B, we offer many different types of deposits accounts to help you achieve your financial goals. Whether it be personal checking or savings, business checking account, or a variety of CD options, we're here to help. Stop by our bank directly east at the post office in Goodland or call 785-890-2000 to begin working with me or another F&B Bank team member. F&B Bank, member FDIC.
This Saturday is the 2024 Truck Convoy for Special Olympics. Take time out of your Saturday to support Special Olympics Kansas by attending the Free Will Donation Community Dinner, Auction, and Yard Games at Oasis Petro Travel Center in Colby, starting when the trucks arrive at 5 p.m. Help line the streets, wave, and cheer on the truck convoy as it parades through Colby starting at 6:45. The convoy will go down Range, turn at 4th Street, then go down Franklin Avenue to Willow. For more information, text the word truck to 785-460-0790.
The Farmers State Bank of Oakley has been financing agriculture since the day we opened our doors. Hello, this is Corbin, and we are proud to be your locally owned partner in ag. We invite you to come and visit with us when you need to purchase new or used farm equipment, or need any type of agriculture or business loan. We have the knowledge, experience, and financial resources to keep you growing. The Farmers State Bank of Oakley, a tradition of community and agriculture for over 115 years. Member FDIC.
Your livelihood is important to you. You work hard to succeed in your farming operation, crop, livestock, home, vehicles, and special needs. We have you covered. Discounts are available for new business, remodeling, hail-resistive roofing, multi-policy, and many more. Optional coverage endorsements as well for machinery, ingestion, and equipment breakdown. Umbrella coverage for additional coverage on your home, farm, and auto. See the girls at the insurance agency at 1020 Main in Goodland or call 785-899-5011.
Hey, it's Brian Haney, the voice of the Jayhawks.
A two-hand follow jam is true for Josh Jackson.
You're listening to the Morning Blitz with my main man, Ross Volkmer, right here on 1025 You Rock.
Thanks again to Travis Smith for joining us on the Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware Hotline. Thanks to you for tuning in this morning, no matter which way you're doing so. Whether, of course, Goodland's Rocket 1025, 730 Gold KLOE, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube through the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream. Thank you so much for joining us today. Reminder, folks, Sherman County Community Foundation having their big party this upcoming Saturday, September the 7th at the Price Convention Center. That's going to be at 7:30 Mountain Time. There will be a cash bar and live music from Big Time Grain Company. All right, before we get out of here, I want to get to the leftovers here on the Morning Blitz, and plenty of things to get to in the leftovers with that.
Starting first and foremost on the local side of things with Colby Community College volleyball. Another great weekend for Coach Jones and her girls. Colby Community College was handed their first loss of the 2024 season, but still a very good weekend. They came into the weekend 4-0 with a top 10 victory. They started off the weekend with a 5-set loss to Northeastern on Friday, but responded with a 3-1 win over Trinidad State. And then Saturday, CCC responded well. They beat Eastern Florida State College and Laramie County 3-1 and 3-2 in those respective matches on Saturday to improve to 7-1 on the season with their Jayhawk Conference opener coming up on Wednesday. Also in some JUCO sports news, Fort Hays State Tech Northwest, their men's cross-country team, they came in fourth at the Terry Masterson Twilight Classic down in Hutch on Friday. Cabello Maha and Lucky Malia, they were both top 10 finishers to lead the Tech Tigers in a pretty solid run. They tied with, in total points, with Wichita State, but lost the tiebreaker based upon where other runners came in. But very good showing for Fort Hays Tech Northwest at the Terry Masterson Twilight Classic in Hutch this past weekend. Also in other sports as well, in the leftovers, want to get into some more college football with K-State and Nebraska. Both got easy wins. K-State with a 41-6 win over UT Martin. It was a slow start for Kansas State offensively. Struggled to kind of get going. Luckily, the defense proven to be elite, and it was very, very good. And the special teams continue to dominate. That is still the case with the special teams touchdown. I think I saw it's now, golly, what was that? It's unbelievable, the stat. It really is nuts. Oh my gosh, I swear it was like 99 straight something or other with a special team score or something along those lines. Like 99 straight games with a special team score for Kansas State. And it includes field goals, extra, field goals and touchdown. I mean, it's amazing. Maybe it's 99 straight. It's a nuts statistic. Maybe it's not 90. Maybe I got to go find that stat. But I saw it just for a brief second on a Sports Center deal where Kansas State has this many consecutive, maybe it's like 30 consecutive seasons with a special teams touchdown. It's just nuts. A block punt for a touchdown against UT Martin. They're just so great on special teams. They've kind of become the new Virginia Tech, which I kind of always thought was the special teams U of scoring touchdowns that way. Kansas State's kind of taken over that post the last few years. Like I said, offense was slow, but I think it was kind of planned. They didn't want to show too much with Avery Johnson. I liked how they used him as a distributor. He only ran the ball 3 times for 37 yards. He didn't look to run much. They didn't run him in any true run game really that much. And then they loaded up DJ Giddens. That's what you got to do. And then they used their playmakers on the outside, including Dylan Edwards, the transfer from Colorado. They did what I thought they needed to do offensively, just a little bit of a slow start. We'll see how it goes. But they pull away with a great second half with the help from shut down defense and great special teams. And they'll have a stiffer test coming up here this Saturday when they're on the road in New Orleans taking on Tulane. That will be a good test to see where they sit right now, does Kansas State football. But overall, a 41-6 win, you're not going to do much complaining about on the season opener. And then Nebraska got a win as well in their season opener. First season opening win since 2019. They're kind of in the same boat as LSU, honestly. They were struggling to win a season opening game. The schedule had just fallen to where it was a challenge to, play. The schedule was just, you were playing these challenging, whether it's conference games or difficult games right out of the gates, and you were unable to win them to get the season off on the right foot. And Nebraska, had a UTEP team that had a brand new coach. And Nebraska kind of started out slow themselves. They were tied at 7 going into the second quarter, but the defense pitched a shutout the rest of the way. While Dylan Raiola led the way with a couple of touchdowns, 138 yards. He was the Big Ten Freshman of the Week. I think that's going to be the first of many of those awards for Dylan Raiola, would be my guess. But he had a really good showing with a couple of touchdowns. Did try to force a few passes that probably could have been picked, so he got lucky there. He'll have to clean that up with better competition coming into town in Colorado on Saturday. But I thought Nebraska looked overall pretty good. The defense did what it was supposed to do. It was pretty stifling, and it's supposed to kind of be that way. The offense is certainly much improved in comparison to the previous seasons. but still plenty of work to be done. But you'll certainly take, if you're K-State and Nebraska, a couple of wins to kick off the 2024 season, and then you just kind of build from there. You'll certainly take that, no doubt about it. All right, let's get to the walk-off here on a Tuesday.
Run, walk-off, home run, a game-winning walk-off with a walk-off.
His second walk-off hit of the season.
In walk-off fashion, that baby's go.
I want to quickly get to picks of the weekend here. How did I do? Well, I went 2-3. I lost in Kansas State UT Martin going over 56.5. So that was an L. I did have Nebraska covering the 27.5 versus UTEP. There's a win. I felt good about Georgia covering the 11.5 versus Clemson. That was a win, a domination from the Bulldogs. LSU covers 4.5 versus USC. Wrong. USC with the win. And Colorado State covers the 32 at Texas. They didn't even score. Texas dominated Colorado State. Although shout out to former Wheatland Grinnell Thunderhawk Jet Vincent, who made a tackle I saw late in the game. So good to see him out there playing at the Division I level there for Colorado State. And lots of volleyball and tennis on docket for today, folks. Tennis, first and foremost, you got Colby Tennis going to Peaburg for a tournament with Beloit, Osborne, Greeley County, and Victoria. So the Lady Eagle tennis team will see how they look in their first action of the season. And talked about a very busy day in volleyball. Goodland hosting St. Francis, Colby going to Lakin for a quad. Hoxie's in Hill City for a triangular. Golden Plains is at the Tri-Plains Brewster quad with Ness City and Logan Palco. Quinter, Rollins County, Decatur Committee all going to the Dighton quad. Wheatland Grinnell is a triangle with Shiloh and Northern Valley. Weskin and Wallace County square off today. Oakley's back in action as well. So like I said, a very, very loaded day of volleyball today as we're back in it. We're just back in the full swing. That is for sure. And I'm back into it. It's game prep week to get ready for the game on Friday. Everyone have yourself a phenomenal Tuesday. Back again in 23 hours. It's been the Blitz.
Rocket 102.5 KKCI, Goodland, Colby, Burlington, Rock.